Is that better? I just realized that thing clicked off earlier. My apologies. How's that? There we go. Yeah, so anyways, I was out mushroom. Anyways, what you just see, so what I'm transplanting right now, you know, my Mexican sunflowers. Got those started a few weeks ago. They're in the well, not to say 1 by 1, but basically 1 by 1 pods. And then I'm also doing this here, which is the dwarf sunflowers that I'm going to be popping in my in some planters just to have around outside. So yeah, you know, just hop on here. How's things on your end? Where are you at anyways? Oh, gotcha. Squirrels. Oh, you're up in oh yeah. So you've been enjoying this weather we've been having too. Yeah. Like I say, I'm just over here in Michigan on the other side, closer to Wisconsin in the lower peninsula. But so you see, I got some nice root growth on these. Good, you know, they're getting to the point now where they're getting ready to start thinking about wrapping around. And so this is when I normally try to go ahead and transplant them some a little bit bigger, because it's still, you know, I'm still probably 6 weeks away from putting these outside. So give them a little room to breathe in here, and that lets me skip. And I'm going to be planting in these spaces that opened up. I've got some zucchini and some summer squash I want to get started, so that way I can take full advantage. So look at my neighbors too. A lot of my garden stuff goes to my neighbors. I'm in a pretty impoverished area, so I like to put the food out and help out my neighbors. You know, they can pop over, get some fresh veggies and stuff. So you can see this one is not quite as developed. It's a smaller, you know, comparatively speaking, but it's still in a good spot. It's going to take the transplant just fine. So yeah, good day today though. Like I said, 60 degrees out. It's 91 in the greenhouse and like 85% humidity. It's kicking today. Love it. Okay, so that is my first round here. Make sure everybody is good and set. Transplant set number 1 for my Mexican sunflowers. Yep, got a spot from right here as a matter of fact. All right. Right there. They're gonna like that little fresh sun too. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 those dwarf ones. Oh yeah, what are you gonna put in? What do you think? You got some brassicas going in, you got some peas, got some carrots. What you got? Oh yeah, hey, I think you'll like this. Oh, bok. Yeah, so you got bok choy. Yeah, that one. Thing with bok choy, it's a heavy feeder, so make sure that it's really heavy feeder. So just make sure that you got that one with plenty of goodness in it. So you'll like that. So you got some brassicas, at least your Swiss chard for here. I've got some cauliflower on the right, got my kale, Swiss chard, and I got only 2 Brussels sprouts that made it up. I think I had a pretty crummy batch there, but I do have some Brussels sprouts, excuse me, let's get this set up here, that are actually out in the garden right now. They're from last year. I started them, figured I'd overwinter them, see how they did. So they survived. They're popping up. So they're about yay tall right now. And I actually direct sowed some carrots and radishes. God, was this Sunday? Last Sunday. So yeah, I'm like a week ahead of you, which makes sense. I'm in a different zone than you are. So cool. That's good stuff. All right, so for these, I'm going to pop them right in just this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to just, these 4, any more? Let me see. Not quite as organized as I wanted to be today, but that's okay. I forgive me. I'll just do, yeah, we're going to do zucchini. So I can do 1 row of zucchini. Yeah, we'll be good. So I'm going to do just these 4. I hate it when you get that one piece of dirt or whatever in the one corner of your nose. You just, it looks like it's super dark, and I'm sure I'm dirty right now, but oh, that's going to bother me. There we go. Got it, I think. Yeah, I didn't know it was. All right, so the next is going to be my dwarf sunflowers. I'm just going to do 4 of them. So with this, just a reminder, when you were transplanting, I've got my potting soil here. What you do first is you put it into a bucket like this or some larger container, a tote, whatever you have, and you pre-moisten it. So it's got a little, you know, it's basically already wet there because potting soil is hygroscopic. It does not like to absorb water, but once it gets it, it holds on to it. Okay, so that's why it's always such a pain to, when you get those little, you know, potting soil, this stuff, you dump water on it, right? You dump your water on there and it just goes everywhere. It doesn't really take. So just want to get it in there and get it pre-moistened. So it's much easier. Now you got everything kind of set, and then you're not worried about floating your seeds or, you know, or destroying anything while you're setting it up. So it's always been my tip. Always worked out well for me. Yeah, it's a good day today. I'm excited for you getting stuff in the ground there. That's gonna be a nice set. Nice set getting those in there. Do you have like a is that something you do just for yourself, or is that in the community as far as your setup on that? Just curious. I know everybody's kind of got different stuff. Different reasons they put that they grow stuff. Oh, share at church. Yeah, I know. I bet you're really popular at church. I bet for that. Yeah, it's yeah, I grew up on a family farm, yeah. Oh yeah, you want, yeah, absolutely. Get everybody to get involved. Have you invited them over to work with you at all? Kind of help put some stuff in the ground? That's right, you got the chickens. I remember that. You were talking about getting some chickens, so that's good stuff. Chickens are great too, you know, if anybody can get them, because they cut down on so much stuff that goes into landfills. You know, you basically anything, they eat everything, so you don't got to throw anything away. So I am inching closer to making the decision on chickens myself. It's just where I'm going to have them. Some make more of a mess. Yeah, well, I mean, well, you're not making a little mess while you're working in the garden, but I understand what you're saying, especially if you're in an urban setting. You know what I mean? You gotta, you know, here our greenhouse was designed to get kind of dirty, right? But you know, depending where you're at, for sure, I get that. But, I mean, at least they're willing to help, right? That's more you can say for most folks. It's my opinion. Come on, buddy. There you go. Oh boy, I am behind on this. So you can see this one. I'm actually behind on these dwarf. I already had basically this getting root bound down there. That is no bueno. Bad Ryan. You're behind. So they trusted you. And it's be fine. It's gonna work out. But so by the way, oh yeah, and I did get my fruit trees in. So I got gosh, how many do I have in now over there? I got 10 fruit trees that I put in last week, this last weekend, Saturday. After my radio program, I did I went and picked up some. So I've got 4 apple trees, 2 pear trees, 2 peach trees, 2 cherry trees. Yeah. So I'm probably going to get 2 more cherry trees too. So, which is nice. But I wanted to see how bad the deer got them. Got a bunch of deer in my area, so it's just one of the things you got to keep an eye on. My neighbor was kind enough, you know, and my wife is watching right now. She's probably laughing, but my neighbor, he always has opinions, and he was kind enough to share that the deer are going to absolutely love my, you know, my little orchard I'm putting into, which I'm like, I'm well aware. Oh, I think I lost this one. We'll try. Yeah, I wanted to get him before that. That stinks. I may end up doing more than just. May end up doing more than 4 just to make sure, because I think that one snipped off on me. Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, it was kind of, he was, like I was saying, my neighbor had his 2 cents to stay in there, but you know, it's those little things. But anyways, yes, these guys might still need. Yep, walk this guy up. There we go. That's what I want to see. Let go. Let go. There we go. See, look at that taproot on that guy. That is wild. So, and these are, what's funny, all right, and you guys will laugh about this. So these sunflowers, these dwarf ones, are designed to be container flowers. You know, because they're only 5. They only grow. These sunflowers are 5 to 6 inches. That taproot was 5 to 6 inches. That's hilarious. Nosy neighbors are too much. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And you know, we moved back to an area where I knew that was going to be a thing. You know, we just set up the house with the brand new neighbors in the area, so of course our neighbors are going to be eyeballing every single thing I'm doing. So yeah, that taproot, that was insane though. These little guys want to live free in a larger something outside of containers. You can just tell with that taproot. But all right. So anyways, when you're doing this, take your time with it. There's no reason to rush. It's one of the problems people get into with these is that they try to rush it, like I did, and they end up tearing these off. So, and this plant will do just fine, but down here, there's going to be at least a couple of these. Actually, you can see I probably can't see it, but there's a larger one right here. That's the one, if that gets nipped, that's where you see they start wilting. That's the concerning one. So, you know, you just want to take your time. They'll do their part. But I did a whole, gosh, I think I did a live stream for like 3 hours on Saturday when I was planting the trees. I just kept repeating the same thing on every single tree. So I think somebody was with me for like 45 minutes, so they got to see a few trees, hear the same thing over and over again. But all right, I think I'm just gonna steal this Bonnie one. Oh, here you go. This one's more funny than anything. So this is a sunflower from my mammoth sunflowers that I had last year. This seed dropped into this when I was just putting the potting soil in here. I had some extras just laying out, and so I said, well, I guess I'm starting a sunflower. And I started, this thing's been up now for, oh gosh, month and a half now. Yeah, about a little over a month, yeah. So this one came from, this seed, and the reason I saved them, came from a 15-footer that I had. Yeah. Oh, yep. Oh, no, you're good. Yep. Nope, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, that helps with the, I know exactly what you're talking about with that powder. I mean, it's early enough, too, where, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, if I lose, I plan on losing a few of these anyways. You know, it's not, you know, that's why I start them early enough. Now, my my things I'm mostly concerned about, my direct sow, obviously, like you're doing, I'm a little bit more cautious about how I put them in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do this last one. Use this Bonnie. See what I got here. One more. But yeah, that powder stuff's great. Basically the mushroom, dried mushroom plant stuff gets them going. So I know what you're talking about. All right, so all right, guys, we'll do better. You guys will just chill out overnight and you'll be fine. So yeah, the transplant shock is always something you just got to be careful with. I'm doing this towards the end of the afternoon, so it'll be getting better for him for sure. Oh yeah, the little definitely goes a long way. That's for sure. Yeah, I used it in the past. I haven't had it for a while, so I should definitely look into it. There you go. Same thing. Kicking there, doing real good. Up these guys in here. And these guys live in their new little cozy little home for the next 6 weeks or so until I get them out. All right, so here's them. Just right here. Ooh. These are my cucumbers. I've got a bunch of cucumbers that just started popping up over there. That's goodness over there. Oh, man. Getting my sweat on today, though. Which isn't a terrible thing. All right. So we're going to... one more Mexican sunflower here. See how it does on the train. This one in here. But that's the thing too. The other one is for a transplant shock. One of the things just to keep in mind too is I found, at least on the doing like trees and saplings and stuff, basically put them in the dark. Overnight they'll get a lot better. Something about just the shock of the daytime in the sun tends to be a bit much for them. But if you can get them in the dark, they do markedly better. So let me just drop you right here for now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get you guys out of the sunlight there. Get you up here. There you go. Everybody's good and comfy. Yeah, a couple of these guys will look a little wilty, which, I mean, you're going to have that. So, all right, cool. All right, so the remainder here, I can move these over here. I don't know if you heard that before about the putting them in dark spot or not, but that's worked pretty well. All right, so let me break up the rest of whatever's in here because that stuff did not germinate. I'll leave the ladder, let them go. All right. Now, all right, so next, I want to get my, I'm going to use 4 here, so it'll be 2 rows each of yellow summer squash and then zucchini. The thing with zucchini, you better like zucchini, and everybody around you better like zucchini, because man, does that stuff ever come up a lot. Is that something you've had a chance to grow in your area? I know you're limited on space and stuff where you do it. You able to do zucchini before? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I've got to move my lemon tree out here. I started a lemon tree a couple years ago from a store-bought lemon, some seeds that I had, just to see if I could get it to germinate. And I put a bunch in there. I got one seed to germinate. It's still, I think, still kicking. It's stressed right now because it's at in between time. It always loses its. So 3 years running now. It's I grow zucchini. My neighbor had the nerve to give me one. Like, you're like, the heck, man! I got a ton of zucchini over here. I try to give the stuff away. It's I try not to. It's one of those ones where I don't actually. These should be. All right, I want to double check before I start putting my holes in the ground here. I know, like, what the heck are you doing, right? Like, you can't give enough. You can't give the zucchini away. So the other piece is just a reminder when you're going in here and you've got your. Now we got this set up. I can bring it up so you guys can see what everyone's doing. There we go. So just a reminder when you fill your pods here. So I've got some I got Johnny jump ups here. They look like that. So they're starting to germinate here. I've got Canterbury bells here, which those should start popping up here anytime now. Like I said, I just pulled the Mexican sunflowers out along with my dwarf sunflowers. I got a few left over here. Let them go. Anyway, so I've got 4 rows here in this. So when you have your pre-moistened mix and you put it in here, the one thing you got to remember, just like with anything, is you always just want to give it a little push. Just a little tap down. See, look at that. It just went in a ton there. So there's air pockets that come into these things. So you just want to give it a, make sure, nothing too crazy, but sometimes they get air pockets that show up there. So you want to make sure, because again, that taproot, like we were seeing on the, you do them all here, so I'm not filling one by one. We saw the taproots on some of those sunflowers. They're pretty significant, but if they run into an air pocket, they're kind of down for the count. It overstresses them. So you always just want to make sure they're all right. So this is a tool. If you, again, you want, you can absolutely, you don't need one, but I tend to like them. It's a basically a measuring tool that you can use to ensure you're getting the correct depth on your actual product. Basically, when you're putting your seeds into your potting soil, it comes in both metric and freedom units. So if you're American like me, get your freedom units, you can work there. All right, so we're going to do squash, then zucchini. Yellow, then green. All right, so let's remember that. So planting depth, they want 1/2 to 1 inch on these, which makes sense. So, gotta pay attention. Yellow, then green. All right, so these are 1 inch. So it's always important to make sure you're reading these because they're, zucchini's a squash too. And you would think they may be similar in depth that you have to do. Always want to make sure that you have this. So, all right. So with this, if you guys haven't grown this, I mean, everybody's had this before. Let me just give you a quick run on this. So basically, sow 6 to 8 seeds in groups or hills, 3 to 4 inches apart. I'm going to start some ahead of time this year and get them out early. I want them to be, a little bit larger when I get them in. Because I'm going to be staking mine this year. I saved my sunflower stalks that I had from last year. I had, oh goodness, probably close to 40 sunflowers that I had for the seeds for my birds over the winter. But I also am saving them. I'm actually staking those. My wife coming in to check on me, so make sure I haven't sweat to death out here yet. But anyways, I'm going to use those to stake my squash, my zucchini. I'm going to use them for my peas. So if you haven't liked and followed my subscribe to my channel yet, please do. I'm going to have videos on all that this year about how I actually saved the stalks. I kept them in the greenhouse and I cured them over basically over the winter. So they dried out instead of becoming all sort of yuck. They actually are nice. I mean, they're solid staffs, almost like bamboo. So, all right. So anyways, with the squash here, so you're going to do 1 inch and then basically 3 to 4 feet in between them. So when I have them actually staked though, what's nice is I'm going to have you know, I'm going to be have a bunch of them all right in together. So, all right. So with that, let's get to my inch here that I have, which is using, of course, I don't have my reading glasses on, but it's going to be this mark right here. It's kind of hard to say that it got dirt on them, but got an inch in here. And so as a reminder, I've got sunflower, it's going to be yellow squash, and then zucchini. Is I'm also saying that multiple times because I will forget at some point. It's just nature of the beast with me. So, any of you guys grown yellow squash before? The summer squash? I know you've done zucchini. Have you done the yellow squash in your urban garden too? All right, so there's going to be 12. I take my gloves off for this because I will drop them otherwise. All right, let's get yellow squash going in the ground. Good things about to happen. All right, I grew up, but last season weather was not great. I didn't do well. Okay, yeah. You know, I had this garden. This is first year with this garden setup that I have, and I put my oh gosh, I put my cucumbers in the ground, and man, it took them almost until end of July to take off. So I lost like almost a month and a half of basically of production with them. Once they got going, they were good, but yeah, it's crazy how that happens sometimes. They just don't go. Now there is something, by the way, if you guys haven't done it, you can do on your seeds. You can either pre-soak them, but you can also snip the tops here, that top portion right there at the top here. You can snip that if you want to. My hands aren't steady enough to do it. I worry I'd probably end up taking out my plant, but you know, those are options that you can do too. So get these in the hole. I'll push them down here in a second. This is my squash. This should get me roughly, and last year too, I told my mom, yeah, give it a try. You know, my hands are too shaky. I mean, you can just see what I'm doing. I'm here. It's just, I've got a nerve condition that fine motor skills are not exactly what they should be, which is okay though. All right, we'll pop 2 in that one, 2 in that one. All right, so we're just gonna, this guy's a little push down, nice and gentle. But anyways, last year I just told my mom, like, hey, don't ask, just come in. Force your way into the garden. It's perfectly fine. And because I said there's so much squash and everything. All right, so there's that. Those guys are in. I'm gonna leave them like that because I like to give it one more eyeball before I cover everything up. Like I said, I have my moments. All right. So next up is going to be our zucchini. All right. So this one was 1/2 to 1 inch. Just the same thing. They're a squash, just like the yellow one. They're pretty prolific once they get started. Good Lord, I hope you like zucchini. This is one of those things. If you really like zucchini, this is going to test you. But my mom, she makes zucchini bread, so you know it's a win-win for me. I give her, make a ton of zucchini. I end up with zucchini bread, so it's not too bad. All right, so we already did push down on this. I've got these 2 right here. So I'm gonna go same thing. We'll mix here, there. And for those of you who haven't done any gardening that might be watching right now, it is one of the most cathartic things you can do. It just, feels good just to spend some time getting your hand in the dirt, bringing life to these little guys. And here's the other thing. Try so hard at this stuff, but you could easily end up with in a situation where you do everything right and stuff still doesn't germinate. It is what it is. So I think I'm gonna have just enough in here. So again, you can tell they're identical seeds, they're all in the same family. So all right, zucchini. Whew. Here's me. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, saying I'm gonna stake them this year, so they're gonna be just growing vertically instead of just being a mess, which would be nice. We get these in, get them covered up. I'm gonna take you guys for a walk. Go show you my trees I put in, all my fruit trees I put in. Oh, so I had 11. They shorted me one. Guess who's not upset about that? This guy. I'm gonna have more than enough zucchini with. There's no way I'm gonna put 12 plants in, but hopefully I can get, you know, a few of these to germinate for me. All right, so get these all covered up. Oh, and the other thing too is, yes, absolutely, less powdery mildew for sure. And the other spot too is, I've also found when I start these ahead of time, I don't have as many basically the pests that show up. Something about when they first start attracts all the beetles and everything. So, you know, when I start stuff inside, I have less issues with beetles, at least at the beginning, until my neighbor starts planting, and then all her stuff brings stuff over. Go figure. All right. Like I said, I had a really good client meeting today. It was good catching up with them. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I've got to head to a funeral for it's the wake and the funeral. It's all in one for a friend's mother. I hadn't really seen her since I graduated high school, but since I moved back here, you know, it's one of those things. I get the opportunity to, you know, pay my respects. Unfortunately, it's funny I mentioned zucchini. One of my core memories with Mary, who passed away, I went over to go see my friend Jason. He wasn't there. This is before cell phones, folks, so you know I couldn't just call and verify. But she was in the house. She was making zucchini bread, and she was like, and she just asked, she's like, "You know how to bake, right?" I'm like, "I do." And she was like, "Do you mind helping?" I was like, "Absolutely not," because you know what I got out of that? I got zucchini bread. So that was a win for me. But I remember my core memories. Anyways, Jason came back afterwards, and there I am in his house making zucchini bread with his mom, and he just kind of laughed a little bit. He's like, "What in the world, dude?" And I'm like, "Hey, she asked, man." So it was good to me. So, all right. So just a reminder, I'm going to say it one more time because I will forget it. I'm going to put this up, put these guys over here, but I got yellow squash, summer squash here, and I got zucchini here. This is Canterbury Bell flowers, and then I have on this side are Johnny Jump Ups, and then the last of my dwarf sunflowers over here. I will forget, so let me just put these empty tabs under them. That'll help me remember. Okay, cool. All right. That's done, that's done, that's done. Pop you guys up here for a little bit. Yeah, it was a good memory. Mary was really nice. She was really sweet. Always. Oh yeah, hey Jess. Yeah, it was one of those things with Mary. She's just a sweetheart like that. But you do what you can, you know. Like I was saying, it's one of the reasons you have visitations, you know. You know, funerals are for the living. That's heard that when I was really, really young, and I've kind of kept that. You know, they're for us to remember the good times we have with folks, not to feel bad. Feel bad they're gone, but it's end of the day. It's us to get together and share good memories. I went to one for one of my clients. One of their individuals passed away in a deer vehicle accident, and I went to the visitation. I didn't know the guy. I just went to. I knew him. I met him like 3 or 4 times just during work. Wouldn't barely, you know, I knew his name enough to know he was a good dude, and everybody talked really highly of him. But went to his visitation. It was it was an absolute riot. People up there were telling some of the best jokes I'd ever heard. Some of the dumb stuff that the guy got into, some of the dumb stuff they got into, and he helped them out. So, like I said, at the end of the day, those type of, you know, funerals are for the living. Just remember that. You forget everything else I talked about today. Remember that piece. So, all right, we're gonna give them a quick little professional. A little bit there. All right. Okay. These guys are all shocked over, but they're gonna be fine. So, with that, yeah. So let's see. actually take you guys for a little walk around the greenhouse real quick. Then we'll go check out my new trees that I have, because I think I've basically done what I need to do today in here. I think so. All right, so here's my oregano. I'm gonna let that go a little bit longer till I thin it out. I did my cucamelons here. I don't know if any of you guys have ever grown cucamelons before. I sure haven't, but they're supposed to be like these little gherkins about yay big, grow on a vine. It's supposed to be a metric ton of them, so we'll see how they go. Got basil, so I got some basils in here. I've got thyme from last year that I basically put in there. It overwintered great. It's a hardy herb, so which is nice. My mom asked me to do zinnias, so hopefully 72 zinnias is enough. I think that, yeah, well, the cucamelons, saw them on the YouTube, so I was like, let's give them a try, see how they do. You know what I mean? Supposed to put them in salads, you know, like they're little cucumbers, I guess. So, oh, there we go. Got some germination. I don't know if you guys can see that. Got some bits popping up. These are cleomes, I think is what she called them. My mom's she's the flower person. So, next we got impatiens, like I said, and those are coming up, which is nice. These are my petunias. They are germinating, makes me happy. Coming down here again, these are my brassicas. I just thinned them out. So this is cauliflower. I've got kale. I got Swiss chard. I just replanted some chilies in here. They didn't take on my other spot. So, and only 2 of my Brussels sprouts came up here. It was an older pack, but I'll show you guys here in a second. I've got a ton of, well, not a ton. I've got 5 Brussels sprouts that I overwintered. So, and I've got some tomatoes here. These are Better Boys that I think they're 75 days to harvest. These are hollyhocks. These are really fickle, but I was able to get these to germinate. I'm pretty happy here, so I'm going to let them go like this for a while. I've got more petunias. Petunias are hard to get to germinate, so I put a bunch down. So worst case scenarios, I have a bunch of petunias. Throw them in the ground, they'll be happy. So this is a mammoth sunflower. These are the sunflowers that I did earlier. These are the these are the dwarf. Yes, those are the dwarf ones. Down here are my cucumbers. They got basically just some Wisconsin ones. They're going to be nice. They're all starting to germinate now, which is good. Super excited about that. My peas, they finally came up. That's going to be a good video. Again, make sure you subscribe and like this here. You're going to want to see how I do my peas. I've got, and I'll even show you as we're walking around. I had to pull them out of here, but my sunflower stalks, how we're using those. Okay. My mom wanted some marigolds, the dwarf marigolds. So I have basically 3 trays of dwarf marigolds. Oh, got a little guy came in here. Hopefully, that's nice. Got my little butterfly. Decided to stop in. So anyways, I got a bunch of the dwarf marigolds here. All right, this is my first round of lettuce basically that I have in here. So I've got black seed lettuce. I can't remember the name of this one here. It's a bitter one. Same thing with the endive. And I only had like 1 chili that came up here. So a little bit of oregano. Oregano is tough to get to germinate. And then this is what we just put down, where I have the Johnny Jump Ups, Canterbury Bells, right? Green and yellow. So I've got zucchini, squash. This is going to be the dwarf sunflowers. Those are super cute. I'm excited to have those up. Oh, it's always popping here in the greenhouse. So, all right, I've got, I just picked up some lavender today. My wife likes lavender, so I want to have that. And then these are 2 indeterminate. This one here is red beefsteak. So this is indeterminate. So a reminder for folks with indeterminate, that means it'll keep growing as long as you keep supporting it. It'll just keep growing up and up until you have it. So I've just got them started with this here. These are actual sunflower stalks, by the way. Then this one here, this is early girl. This should be fruiting in the next 4 weeks or so. And I just wanted to get some early tomato production going here. So I got them. So let's go for a walk. Let's go check out the what's happening here. You can see this is also Basically, it's got pulls the hot air out. Oh, hydrogen peroxide. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll give it a go. I've got another round. I mean, I've got plenty of the peppers. I'll keep going on those. So, oh yeah, they're already everything I have. Good call on the heating mats. Everything in here when it starts is on a heating mat. I've got everything insulated as well. So yeah, good call on the heating mats if you don't have it, for sure. Just show you, this is the vent fan that I have. It's solar powered. It's hitting a solid 90 in here today. Whew. All right, so let's go for a little walk in here. I'm going to flip it around. You're not going to see me swing talk. Let's see. Come on, phone. There we go. All right, so that is winter rye that I have as far as cover crop in the in my garden here. These, I'll come in and you guys check this out. You like this? These are my Brussels sprouts that I had a month ago. They were flat on the ground, just flattened out. They popped up this much. You can see they're getting a little happy in there. I got to trim some stuff out here. You see, I'm getting some little Brussels down there. They're doing their thing, so it's pretty exciting. Not really happy with how it turned out, but you know, I think we'll make it work. So, another good stuff that we have here. Yeah, I know they're slow to grow, but like I said, we did them over the winter to see. I have wild garlic that grows in here. Pops up everywhere in my garden. This is just from where it was previously. So, this is chamomile from last year. So this will be starting to flower here in a little bit. I've got a bunch of it all over. So yeah, and then you can see I got extra. My wife, she decided to go through and defur my pups. So the birds, they all have stuff. All right, so this is I was talking to you guys about with my sunflowers, saving all the stalks. You can hear how solid they are. Okay, so that's what I did with them. Basically cut them down, stripped them off, and then put them in the greenhouse over the winter to cure them. Yeah, it's solid, just like bamboo. So give you guys a quick tour over here, the property, show you where I've got my my fruit trees in. I got my peaches are actually blossoming, so they're pretty right now. Gorgeous day out though. All right, here we go. Switching over. Come on. All right, so as you can see, nice row of them there. Got a whole set of them over there. So we'll just kind of go down the lot here. Here I've got some basically Fuji apple. It's Fuji. Yeah, it's Fuji and Macintosh. They're kind of mirrored on each side, so we just do here. These would be nice. The deer are gonna, as my neighbor said, are gonna have a field day with these. Which, whatever. We got deer everywhere. Some Bartlett pears. See, these guys are already doing pretty good. These are, oh yeah, fruit trees are cake. You just kind of leave them alone; they'll do their thing. Including peach trees up here. Yeah, basically the fruit trees are pretty straightforward. Just stay out of the way and they do just fine. And then I've got a couple, I'm probably gonna get 2 more of these. I've got extra space here. I'm probably gonna fill in these Rainier cherries. So same thing, another cherry tree. I'll show you this. Check out this guy, just popped today. Look at how pretty that is. Ain't that great? Doesn't get much better than that, folks. So yeah, fruit trees are pretty easy. They're just like any other tree. You just got to make sure that you get ones that are specifically for your region. That's always the trouble, the trouble part. If you go to your local box store, your Lowe's or Home Depot, every tree that you get there is going to be meant for your region. So just grab something you like there and follow the directions. And biggest thing is take your time. Don't stress or go too fast when you're trying to put your trees in. You just simply want to take your time, follow the directions, and add water every time you're worried. Oh yeah, it's a lot of variety. Yeah, and again, I want to see what's going to grow. I have neighbors that have nectarines and peaches. So I just wanted to, if they can do it, I can do it, right? I think that's kind of the idea. All right, so with that, I just want to get, before I go, I just want to give one more look around before I head in for the day. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a little bit while I was working in the greenhouse here. If you haven't already, subscribe, give me a like. Like I saying, I'm on here, you know, live whenever I'm out doing something. I do make some longer form videos. I will be putting together a video for, I'm going to be putting a, basically solar panels along with an inverter and some batteries in my shed, so I have power out here. I can just run it and I can do things that I need out here. So, but with that, please subscribe, like if you haven't already. Definitely appreciate y'all swinging by. I think I'm good for right now. Just to clean up here. Do you guys have any questions before I go? Jessalyn, thank you. Urban Gardening, it's been great talking with y'all. Love you guys stopping in at the feed. I'm normally, you know, 3 to 5 is when I try to be on here, because, you know, I like to clean up and don't like to be dirty going in for dinner, you know, that type of stuff. So yeah, no worries. Appreciate you. All right, with that note, I'm going to take off. It's been real. See you all on the flip side. Take care.